We will call to order the regular board meeting of the Chicago Board of Election Commissioners. Good morning. My name is Marisol Hernandez. Seated to my left is Commissioner Jonathan Swain, and to my right is Commissioner William Cressy. Next item on the agenda is consideration of the agenda. Are there any changes? If not,
there's one change, isn't there?
Yes.
Yes, Madam Chairwoman, we have one item that needs to be tabled until our next meeting, and that is the approval of a contract for server virtualization and backup and disaster recovery with CDW Government LLC.
Okay. Is there a motion to table?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay. That is tabled, so we will now, any other changes? Okay. If there are none, we will proceed. There are no minutes to approve at this session. We will proceed then with the Executive Director's report. Mr. Gough.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. Just to let the board members, just to inform the board members, on Wednesday, April 18th, the United States Assistance Commission had their standard board meeting, and I'm part of the standard board. And one of the first meeting was to talk about the Help America Vote Act and about the funds, the $380 million. They gave us timelines, grants, packages. We're working on that now. I'm going to meet with staff, hopefully get something in writing, some type of schedule of how we'd like to spend the funds for the board's approval. So we're having a debriefing meeting on Thursday at, what, 9:30, Charles?
Yes.
And we're going to discuss it with the staff. So hopefully I will get something to the board members soon about that. The Chicago Board of Election will get $3 million of this $380 million. We have 5 years to spend the money. It's similar to what we've done in the past with HAVA funds. We already have a checking account set up to place this money in our accounts, because it has to be separate from any other accounts. So I just want to let the board members know we're working on that. Hopefully in another week I'll be able to get that to you, because the state board wants to talk to me about when we would like to receive those funds. That's the first item. The second item is there was a item on election cyber security update from perspectives of local election officials. I sat on a panel that seemed to go very well. The standard board did their work. The meeting adjourned on Friday, but I was able to vote on Thursday, because Friday the Chicago Board of Election gave a presentation to the National Bar Association, and I wanted to let the board members know this went very well. I was at the National Bar Association Friday and Saturday, and got nothing but rave reviews of what our staff did. We had two of our advocates on the program, Kadeen Bennett from the ACLU and Ami Gandhi from the Chicago Lawyers Committee for Civil Rights. Their presentations were excellent. Adam did an excellent job. Jim Allen did an excellent job. All I had to do was moderate it, so it was great. We got, Verdrina Lyles was the one that asked me if the board would do this, and she was quite happy about it. I just wanted to thank Jim, Adam, and Trish. Trish put together the PowerPoint and got all the stuff together. I was in the standard board meeting while this was being prepared, and the staff did an excellent job. I just wanted the board members to know that the National Bar Association was us to go on the road with that. They thought it was excellent.
Did
Adam,
you copyright the slides?
Adam, do you want to make any other comments about that?
Well, I felt like it was a good program because the audience participants were very engaged. It was a lot of back and forth conversation, which, and what we heard afterwards is that was the only session throughout their whole conference that really had a dialogue and got the crowd into it. So
Remind me again, what the topic was, what again?
voter empowerment was the
Was-
general term
is it-
they gave to it.
But it was overall. We talked about pretrial detainees, which a lot of them didn't understand. We talked about voter registration,
Voter ID laws.
voter ID laws. I mean, it was
Wow.
it was a catch-all, and it was really, it went real well.
Sell popcorn?
Now,
Next time.
Yeah, that's, Jim Allen, do you have any comments on that?
No, it was a great freewheeling exchange. So everything from election day registration and the changes that have occurred since '83 when we saw Harold Washington elected to now, as well as questions about City Key. We had a good dialogue about that, which was very similar to the board's discussion of that whole issue. So it was a fun event. It's good.
The other items were that tomorrow, we have up at the county board meeting, we were working on an agreement with the county clerk's office about election information security officer, and that's going to be up tomorrow. I sent you the information on that. I hope it'll pass. I think it'll be something that'll be good for this office. So I just wanted you to be aware of that.
You'll be there?
Pardon me?
You'll be there.
I will be there. I will be there. And the last item is that I got a call from Commissioner Cassandra Watson. She feels that the state board needs to do a AVR hearing here in the city of Chicago. So she asked me, would I be willing to host it? We're gonna do that next month. We're gonna do it in our lower level. I'll be working with the state board. I've already contacted Dustin Schultz from the State Board of Election to put together a program. So I just want to let the board members know that's what we'll be working on. And that is all I have for the board members right now.
Okay. Well, thank you. It's all very good. I think it's great that we're at the forefront of these, just panel discussions and, you know, it just highlights what we already know, that we're at the forefront as an election commission. And when we give these presentations, we're not only being informative, but we're showing everyone how we're making those strides that other election agencies haven't even begun to think about. So thank you.
And it was really good to work with advocacy groups also. And I think it adds something to our presentation.
Absolutely.
So
I totally
I'm
agree.
really happy about that.
When we partner with advocacy groups, it's just, there's just so many benefits to it. Absolutely. So thank you for getting all that together and making that presentation to all of you. Mr. Holliday, good morning.
Just the following reports, post-election reports have been sent to the state board. Our 2 a.m. precinct report, which is a report of all the precincts that hadn't reported by 2 a.m. on election night. Obvious discrepancy and 5% audit tabulation report has been sent as well. Post-election survey report on all the election totals, grace period, early voting, election day, vote by mail, and military. IVRS Entrust report, which is a report of all of the IVRS users in our office with their secured token keys. On yesterday, the warehouse staff, along with ES&S, completed copying log files from the e-poll books from Election Day. Last Thursday, we had a debriefing of the receiving and the remote site supervisors on the return of materials on election night from the judges. And we've started scanning the ballot applications to capture the images.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Holliday. Next, we'll go to our Communications Director, Mr. Allen.
Morning, Commissioners. Quickly, thank you for joining the gathering at Hubbard High School. Chairwoman and I went there last week, and it was a day when they had sophomores and freshmen taking state mandated tests. So we had the seniors and the juniors in the auditorium. A bunch of them were already registered, but we took 75 new registrations. And so those are being processed now. As Lance mentioned, we appeared with the National Bar Association. We've begun the process of flipping all of the web pages to have content for the November election, but also prepare at the same time the translations and the materials for 2019. In fact, we're also already getting media requests for information related to 2019, well, not almost, on a daily basis, whether it's about the calendar or it's about candidates, when filing will begin, voter history records. So as far as the media is concerned, November is already over, just so you know. We have a meeting this morning to put together, begin putting together all the specifications for the signage, the envelopes, forms, banners, and what have you, all the printing that's going to be needed. And this is going to be an IFB that'll cover information. Help me out, what's an IFB stand for?
Excuse me, invitation to bid.
Invitation for bid. I know what it goes in it, I just don't know what to call it. Invitation for bid that has to be inclusive for not only the fall election, but also the February and potentially April runoff elections. So two of the commissioners here are about to find out that this is the most difficult part of the four-year process that we're about to enter. It's the most condensed, where you're starting one election when you haven't even finished the first one. Then on the, we've got to return to developing the long-range plan. So we've got basically everything checked off on our list, and we just have to return to settling, getting the material ready. So I'll be presenting that to you individually over the next couple of weeks and try to get some agreement. And lastly, speaking of long-range plans, the Tribune ran an editorial over on Sunday calling for shortening of early voting. We all know that 40 days was a mistake, and they reiterated that. I wasn't looking for coverage of my own, my personal self, but I pointed out that 40 days before the April runoff election is before the February municipal election, and which is a fact. So hopefully the legislature will take that up. We've received word from one lawmaker who's prominent in election writing that they're looking at 22 or 21 days instead of the 40 in non-November elections, non-November general elections. So that's all.
Thank you.
Madam Chairwoman, I'd
Yes.
just like to add something, and I mentioned it at a past board meeting. We lost 16 West Washington, 16 West Adams, that old Walgreens space for our early voting site, our super site downtown. We're looking for a new one. I'm having some issues, so I just want to let you know that we're going to do everything we can, because this ballot is too large to do it in the lower level of this building. So we have to get an
Is
outside
that for the
indication.
November?
It's for November.
And then, so we need,
So we're working on that now, so I just want to let the board members know that.
wow.
15 West hasn't started building out yet. I have some issues with the Walgreens folks for not pushing 15 West Washington, because we went in there, cleaned it all up, and then they end up leasing it.
Right.
But the company hasn't even started building out yet, so we're gonna talk with them. I got directly to the people that have that new lease now. I'm
Okay.
gonna see what we can do first before we go to anybody else.
Okay.
It strikes me that we'll continue to have this problem
Yep.
as things move around. would it be some thought to try to create a space in permanent open space for this? What I mean by that is possibly, and again, I'm just talking out loud, but looking at some, maybe the Daily Plaza of some sort, and maybe creating some kind of enclosure there. We can do it permanently, because
Well,
we're going to have this problem forever.
We will, and that's something that we're looking at also. Around those times where they use Daily Plaza, it's not the same time that we do our early voting. So there's something we could do with a tent, or something like they do with the Kris Kringle Market. I
Right,
mean,
create some kind of temporary permanent structure, if you will.
Right.
That we could use. I'm not sure what the cost of that would be for heating and all those other electrical and all those kind of things, but.
Well, we're already spending $50,000 on the lease per election.
Right, and so there's a real question about, 50, and is that, well, never mind with that, but that might solve this problem, because if we continue to look around as the loop continues to develop, the finding empty spaces to do this is going to probably be more difficult, so we should probably kind of come up with a long-range strategy, even if it is meaning creating some space on an open space downtown, permanent open space downtown.
And we did meet with the people from the city and the county, and that we were looking at that also. So,
Yeah, that's a big problem.
Another reason why the legislature should push on reforming early voting to reduce that 40-day, reduce that down, that would help us a lot.
it really would. It really would.
Okay, thank you. We'll go on to old business, infrastructure projects and changes in election administration. We're working on that, and electronic poll books. Judd is.
Mr. Holliday already kind of gave the update there. We completed downloading the log, so now we're just going to import that back into VR.
Okay.
Jim had a suggestion yesterday about populating the media view with numbers. Currently, I think you all looked at it. You hover your mouse over one of the bar graphs or pie
Right.
charts, and it'll give you the number.
Right.
Jim's suggestion was to have the number there so that he could take a screenshot and possibly publicize that on the board's webpage. So we're taking a look at that.
Okay, great. I love that media view.
It was great.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Phenomenal.
Thank you. Voting equipment, Mr. Gough, we're still in the process
We
of.
need to get back on that, and we will do that in the next couple of weeks.
Okay. And legislation. Mr. Latson, anything?
Well, we have the pretrial detainee bill that deals both with voting for pretrial detainees in the jail, and then also for giving information on registration to people as they're leaving jail. That has gone through the Elections and Campaign Finance Committee, approved it unanimously 14-0. So the supporters are happy that it's picking up bipartisan support, and now it's scheduled for a second reading on the House floor. Several other bills that we're following have just been sent back to Rules Committee, so they're still working on stuff. That includes the House bill on that would have the state stop using cross-check and use only the ERIC system. The House bill there is back to the Rules Committee. The similar Senate bill is up for a second reading. The bills on closing schools on Election Day is back to the Rules Committee. Same with the automatic voter registration extension, which I'm sure is going to happen, but it's back in Rules. And also the changes to the write-in candidates. So for now, that's the update.
Okay, thank you. Next item on the agenda under new business is the adoption of a local options guideline for the 2018 general election. Mr. Lasker?
Yes, every year the board does adopt an updated set of guidelines for local option referenda petitioning and procedures, and it's a bit of a popular document. We get calls both from aldermen's offices, from people in the community who want to petition. So I have updated the 2016 version. The only real change is there's been no substantive change to the law. It's an old law, but I've added the State Board of Elections I've added the General Assembly's website as a source for obtaining the statutes, because it previously only listed the Cook County Law Library, which is a great library, but not many people go. And also I've changed the name of the White Sox Stadium to Guaranteed Rate Field because I had to do it. Other than that,
Put the downward pointing arrow on it.
Yeah. Other than that, it's essentially the same thing. The dates and deadlines have been updated for the November 2018 election.
If there are no further questions, is there a motion to adopt the revised local option guidelines for the 2018 general election?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes and the guidelines are adopted. Next item is a resolution authorizing the disposal of certain election materials pursuant to the Illinois Local Records Act and the Election Code. Mr. Lasker?
Thank you. The warehouse has requested that we make some space to store the current March 2018 materials, so we need to clear out some of the old ones. The election code requires us to retain all of the paper materials from elections for 22 months. So we're beyond that 22-month period for 3 different elections that are still being stored at the warehouse. There's no pending litigation for those elections, and therefore the resolution, if you approve it today, would allow disposal of the materials from the special primary election held in the 2nd Congressional District on February 26, 2013, then the corresponding special election from the 2nd Congressional District, April 9th, 2013, and then the general election from November 4th, 2014.
Is there a motion to authorize the disposal of the election materials as set forth by Mr. Lasker?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes.
Thank you. I do have a resolution for your signature.
Okay, thank you. Next, while we sign this, is the legal report. Mr. Lasker, is there anything?
The biggest part of my legal report is I would like to introduce you to Trupti Patel. She's a law clerk who's joined the board. She's a recent graduate of Loyola University's School of Law. We're very happy to have her aboard, helping keep on top of some of the routine work that we have in the legal department and freeing me up to concentrate on some of the bigger stuff. So we're very happy to have her aboard. She's off to a great start.
Wonderful. Welcome. And feel free to approach any of us and the staff at any time. Thank you. Next, we will go to the financial report. We have a balance sheet and voucher listing for the City of Chicago. A 2018 appropriation number 18-03 dated April 24th, 2018 in the amount of $952,495.72. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. The balance sheet and voucher listing is approved. Next is a balance sheet and voucher listing for the County of Cook 2018 appropriation number 18-03 dated April 24th, 2018 in the amount of $4,654,020. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. The balance sheet and voucher listing is approved. Next is public comment. I did not receive any requests for public comment. So, Mr. Lasker, is there a need for executive session?
No, there's not.
No. If not, is there a motion to adjourn to our next regularly scheduled meeting on April 8th, 2000?
May.
I'm sorry, May 8th, 2018 at 9:30 a.m.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes, and we are adjourned. Thank you.